a Sunday soccer matinee from the nation's capital in a repeat of the first ever match in USL Super League history. A DC power side in fine form welcome the so far invincible Carolina Ascent to Audi Field. Jessica Trom and Hayley Sutton, our entire crew, delighted to welcome you to Super League on Peacock. And as we cast our minds back to day one of the league, this matchup began the inaugural season in some style.
Well, it was such a fun environment. Of course, the parachuted ball down to the field was one of the highlights, but really when you saw the record amount of fans in attendance, over 10,000 people crowded the stadium to watch these two teams play. And it was Vicky Bruce, the experienced defender, who was able to score the first ever goal, in Super League history. Carolina Ascent has worked on their game plan. They have been unbeaten, and they are ready to go this afternoon.
And as Hayley mentioned, since August 17th with those 3 points, they have been impressive. 4 wins, 5 ties, but that sees them second in the live table.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for them to be in that second spot after they've spent so much time at the top of the table. But really, this is all about coming back from adversity. They have yet to drop a game this season. 4 clean sheets on the year to go along with 12 goals scored. They have the recipe. Now it's, can we get past those draws and find the win?
And a key ingredient to that recipe has been Mia Corbin. She's led the front line in impressive fashion for Carolina.
Just a calm, cool, collected player on the ball. She's very willing to get involved in the attack. She likes balls at her feet, able to get those shots off quickly, but just a dynamic player who's able to adjust on the fly. She really elevates this Carolina offense.
On the flip side, it's been a turbulent start for life in the Super League for DC Power. However, they have found great rhythm recently. They're unbeaten in their last 3.
A lot of positives coming from that last result against Lexington. The come from behind nature to get the goal scoring from their youngster, Allie Flanagan, who will be unavailable today. Nonetheless, this is a team that's going to have to lean on some new faces today to get things going if they're going to compete with Carolina.
But someone that oozes experience, oozes confidence is Madison Wolfbauer. She is the anchor of this DC Power side.
She's the anchor of the defense, and it's interesting, she comes from an attacking background. She made the position change from forward to defense, and you're seeing her reap the benefits of that as well. In this game in particular, able to score 2 goals from the penalty spot. Just another advantage that they have on defense for DC Power.
Well, we're just moments away from kickoff here at Audi Field. Will DC Power use their home field advantage to disrupt Carolina Ascent's flawless start? Or will the Trailblazers keep on climbing? We'll find out next. You're watching USL Super League on Peacock.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses have broken free from the fields.
Welcome back to Audi Field in the nation's capital. Moments away from kickoff, DC Power FC, Carolina Ascent FC meeting for the first time since opening day. Jessica Chubb and Haley Sutton, our entire crew, welcome you to USL Super League on Peacock. DC Power FC have some alarming changes to the starting lineup today, Haley.
Yeah, back there in goal, it's going to be Adelaide Gay getting the start in place of Morgan Aquino, who's dealing with a concussion. Gay has not played a lot of football, Jess, in recent months, so it's going to be interesting to see how she's going to give direction to the back line and withstand that Carolina attack.
It's a huge task for Addie Gay, particularly as she'll be facing Philip Pool's Carolina Ascent, who have been ruthless in front of goal. Such a confident team in their identity.
We spotlighted Mia Corbin for the reason, in the beginning of the game for a reason. She leads the team with 3 goals in that Golden Boot hunt. But really, when it comes to Carolina, look at the outside backs, the outside midfielders. Bedoya and Bruce looking to get into the attack as well. They like to send those balls from the outside channels into the box and get their attacking players just little touches to challenge the keeper.
Carolina Ascent, of course, currently unbeaten, riding the wave of momentum. They were knocked off the perch of the #1 seed for the first time in 11 weeks, but have the opportunity with a victory today to leapfrog Brooklyn FC. There's a look at Adelaide Gay. Wonder what's going through her mind right now. Has a lot of experience, the 35-year-old goalkeeper, but as you mentioned, just 45 minutes for DC Power.
And it's going to be crucial for her to really establish herself early in this game. Again, Carolina likes to put a lot of pressure on net early and establish their game plan. She's going to have to be calm and collected from the start.
We've got a peek of Zanetta Wine, acting head coach today for DC Power, as we are underway. Kickoff from Audi Field between Carolina Ascent and DC Power. Frederick Briand unavailable today to lead his DC Power side, but plenty of experience in Zanetta Wine. Has a fine playing career to boot.
Yeah, she's got experience both at the NWSL ranks as well as some Premier League action with West Ham. It's always good when you have experience as a coach. You can relate to your players on the field.
Our referee today, Alyssa Nichols, will have the whistle. An early pressure from DC Power. Bochum thought that she'd earned a corner kick. Referee points to a goal kick instead. Here's Philip Pool, and oh, how proud he must be of his side. We've had an opportunity to talk to him this week, and he was pretty calm in the way he talked about his team. A lot of good things, but wants to be better in terms of wins versus draws.
Yeah, you saw that result against Dallas in their last game out. He talked about he was disappointed in how they continued to give up the lead. Kudos to Dallas. He said they're a great team, and no mistake, we were excited to get a result against them, but they have to find that killer instinct in the final third.
Ruthlessness was the word that he used. We'll see how ruthless Ascent can be today. Wolfbauer with her first touches as she refreshes back to Gay in goal. Long kick forwards in her first start in DC Power colours. There's a big clash in the middle of the park. First action from Alyssa Nichols to blow the whistle for that collision.
Set piece for DC. It's interesting that they weren't the ones charged with the first foul of this game. DC typically a team that likes to play much more physical. They've racked up 23 yellow cards on the season, so look to watch for them to be much more physical in this game.
Cujo starting things through the back line. And Cujo, such an important player as she threads the ball up to Lee. Mariah Lee able to earn the throw in far side. Good early start for DC Power, though, in their home building, feeding off the energy here at Audi Field.
And for DC Power, a key to their game is to keep the ball moving. They have much more success when they're doing 1- and 2-touch passes, really working the ball into those outside channels. Lulls in play tend to mess up their game plan.
Charlie Escort to Bochum. And Bochum thwarted by a big tackle in from behind. Escort able to get it down to Fredericks, and Charlie Escort, fresh off the international break, featured with Wales, the former Reading FC player. A good player to have coming back into your lineup today.
Well, and you saw why she's so important on the field. In 8 tackles, rather, she's won 7 of them. She's not afraid to go in for those 50-50 balls and come out on the other side of that in a positive way. Her first touch always sets her up as well to go forward, which is interesting coming from an outside back.
I think what else it displays is the fact that USL Super League is doing everything right to attract so many American players, but also some internationals that see this as a platform to continue their storied careers.
We talked yesterday on the broadcast between Lexington and Tampa Bay about how much of a benefit the Super League has been to American players who maybe don't want to take that leap and go overseas. But the same can be said about international players wanting to make a name for themselves in the American game, the NWSL, and trying to get on their radar.
Driving forward is Buckham. Bit of a shoulder-to-shoulder with Aguilera. And it's cleared long out the back by McClelland. Megan McClelland, such an experienced goalkeeper in the back, is one of a few players that have played the entirety of the USL Super League season.
4 clean sheets for McClelland. She leads the USL, and I believe she's 5th in saves as well, which tells me that she's not called upon often to make the big save, but when she is, she's able to get it done.
Bockham charging forward, a big slide tackle comes in from Bruce. It's deflected and the referee has pointed for a corner. Great run forward by Jorian Bockham, the first goal scorer in history for DC Power.
And she's going to have to be very active up top with this 5-4-1 formation that DC Power rolled out at kickoff. She's that high target player. She hasn't scored a goal since that inaugural week against the Carolina Ascent, but nonetheless, trying to build her confidence back up, and the best way to get your confidence back is to score another goal.
Amber Diorio getting ready to serve in the first corner of the game. It's deep from Diorio and it's headed away by Carolina Ascent, well defended. And in fact, it appears it went all the way through, didn't take a touch. Josie Studer, throw it down the line, but looked like an awkward miscue. Somehow, though, Ascent received the possession.
And this is going to be a fun one for us, Jess, looking at that Carolina Ascent back line with Studer and Studer next to each other. It's going to be fun to keep up with them.
And honestly, was surprised that it wasn't a relation. They are just coincidentally with the same last name in the back. Throw-in down the line is deflected away. Carolina Ascent continuing to just develop further into the attacking third. Duong. Escort. Fredericks. Down the line, great pass for a streaming Bockham. Bockham shaping for the cross, trying to get through into the box, and it's good goalkeeping by Megan McClelland to come out to smother.
That's a heads-up play there from Bockham. I just talked about her being that target player, and that's what you want to see out of your target. Draw the ball down to the touchline and then get a cross in.
This is not the composure of Carolina Ascent that we have been so used to seeing. A poor miscue play out the back has forced a DC Power corner kick.
And Carolina will have to be careful. You saw this in that game against Dallas in their last game out, just a couple of uncharacteristics, to borrow a word that you just used, that had them on the ropes very early in that game against Dallas.
Diorio with her second corner. This one's shorter, a little shoulder barge, good positioning by the defender. The service just hasn't allowed a DC Power player to connect yet.
DC Power so willing to use their defensive line to get in on the attack, particularly in set pieces. I'd like to see that be just a little bit more beneficial. Someone getting a head, a toe, a touch, something to create a little havoc in the box on those set pieces.
DC Power, of course, with the fewest goals scored on the year, just 6 goals in their favor. Head coach Fred Briand unavailable on the sidelines today, but he did speak to us midweek and said that He's encouraged by the chances they've created, but they've still got to find ways to score more.
And a big boost in that scoring was, of course, the youngster Allie Flanagan, who scored a brace in her debut. She's unavailable today with DC on the attack.
Bockham just jumped the gun a little too early there and is caught offside, but a good little pattern of play for DC Power, pulling the ball into the middle of the park, searching for Jorian Bockham. Important moments for Carolina Ascent to just utilize the ball, but here's a long ball forward, straight back to Constant. Cujo. Lee. Just the wind picking up in Audi Field. And Gay launches this one forward. It's over to the side touchline, ended up being a very good ball. There's Bagley asking for some movement.
Such important moments as well for DC Power to establish their possession early. Carolina Ascent has had a lot of success on the counterattack as we see them going on the attack here. If DC can just hold on to the possession and again work it to the outside channels, they'll see a lot of success.
Long ball forward from DC Power. Takes a couple of hops as Charlie Escott was pressing high. It's a good recycle back to the boots of McClelland. McClelland, the 24-year-old goalkeeper we mentioned, 4 clean sheets on the year. That led her being placed in the September Team of the Month. Will have been disappointed to have conceded 2 last time out against Lexington. Here is Carolina Ascent on the attack though, far side. As a really important slide tackle comes in from Amber Diorio.
Great defensive challenge for Diorio. Can't let that ball come into the box if you are the DC Power. That's how Carolina likes to establish their offense, sending those balls out wide as you see here. Working it down to the touchline, just a little bit of individual skill there by Jada Bedoya. And the sliding save rather, gives us our first corner of the game.
Very congested 18-yard box right now as we see Carolina Ascent's first corner getting ready to be delivered in. Swung in and Gay with a big two-handed punch away. Great interception from the goalkeeper in her first USL Super League start, and then a physical challenge. Melissa Nichols will have a stern word and actually flash the yellow card in the direction of Sydney Struder.
In swinging corner kick, Addie Gay rather coming out and establishing herself early. That's a good confidence booster for her. And then just a reckless foul there coming through. Not quite a dangerous area, but Sydney Struder is going to be given a yellow card.
Struder, a predominantly defensive player, now having to play on a yellow card for all but 11 minutes of this match. Fredericks was looking for Bockham, couldn't quite connect, but it's encouraging for DC Power and Zanetta Wine, who is stepping in for Fred Briand today, and the fact that they have seen opportunities to get Jorian Bockham running in at goal. Jill Aguilera will throw it in, a great long throw in. As the long switch from Baisden. It's taken down by Bedoya, so classily done. Bedoya's pass is thwarted, she'll get back on it.
I've loved watching Jada Bedoya just really find herself over the course of the last couple of games. She's really established a good connection with Mia Corbin over the last few as well. That's been a fun duo to watch too, but Jada Bedoya just adds this level of intensity on the outside for Carolina Ascent.
She's a player that they need to find more on that right-hand side. And here is the big switch, looking for Bedoya, an important head away by Diorio. She's going to have her hands full today as Amber Diorio.
Amber Diorio, a defensive player that typically likes to get up on the attack. I'm curious to see, with the threat of Bedoya there on the outside, how limited she is in getting in on the attack. She's gonna have so much work to do on that outside.
In the aftermath of both hurricanes, Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from devastation the storm has left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code and visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have access to the resources they need to recover. It's interesting because when you look back to Carolina Ascent's last game, Lexington felt like they should have very much had an opportunity. Rather, Dallas thought they should have done more in that game. So to find an opportunity right now where Carolina Ascent has been pinned back, they've got to find more ways to get forward. Here is an opportunity. Good goalkeeping from Gay.
And this feels kind of like a game, Jess, where both of these teams are still just trying to settle into the match. I think they both know how they want to play. It's just a matter of making that come to fruition. There's challenges as well with a new goalkeeper in too. I'd like to see Carolina challenge Gay just a little bit there. We've only seen her called to action twice at this point of the game.
I wonder how much Philip Poole perhaps talked to his forward-thinking players about testing a goalkeeper that has not played consistent minutes since she was in the Danish league back in 2023. Great move by Cujo, and then a distribution over. Beautifully done to Bagley. Bagley up to Lee, gets it back. Bagley with the cross, headed away by Bruce. De Jong to Frederick. Fredericks headed down into the mixer, and the shot eventually goes wide off of the boots of Charlie Escort, but DC Power threatening.
It's a lot to break down from this, but what a ball in from Fredericks just across. It was a deeper pass, but DC Power had so many players in the box. It's ultimately not the final touch there for Escort, but still a great moment for DC Power early in this game.
Sounds of "Let's Go Power" echoes around Aldi Field. The fans feel like they are really creating here as Constant in a foot race is able to clip it away. Cujo under a higher press from Carolina Ascent, but she is able to now find Constant.
Jennifer Cujo with a 76.4 passing accuracy at that midfield spot.
Bochum not happy with the call, just a little too overzealous as she bodied Sydney Studer to the ground. McClelland starting to find a little bit more of that composure around the back now. Our Carolina Ascent, this is their identity. They want to move the ball well.
And for DC Power, we've really seen a disruption of how Carolina has played. They've been almost on the front foot when it comes to applying that pressure. We just saw that great sequence where they've really been creating a lot of goal chances.
Mr. Wong called for the foul. DC Power comfortable with disrupting their opponents on the physical side of the game. Expect to see that foul count tottle up. Aguilera inside. Long ball clipped by Porter for a chasing Guion. Just cleared away ahead of Guion. Corbin tried to outside boot pass it, was blocked, but it is picked up again. Aguilera, early cross, swiped away by Cujo. Referee calls a handball against Lee. A good opportunity out of nowhere for Carolina Ascent from the dead ball.
We've seen Carolina be dangerous from set pieces this season. This one just outside the 18. And what I like about set pieces from this distance is it gives you, as the person taking that free kick, it'll be Renee Guillon standing over it, but it gives her the opportunity to take this shot herself, float a ball to the back post, make it a little bit more driven. It creates a little bit of uncertainty for DC Power defense.
One player wall in De Jong as Guillon looking to serve this in. Guillon, perfect ball in, it's cushioned down, and it's toe poked away. Referee though, points to the spot. Carolina Ascent have a penalty. It looks like a handball has been called by Alyssa Nichols.
High flying ball in, and you saw it there. It wasn't a traditional handball. Comes off of the chest, upper shoulder area of Mariah Lee. We didn't get too tight of a look at it, but very quickly it did look like it came just a little bit high off the chest there for Mariah Lee. Nonetheless, we have our first penalty.
We talk about the t-shirt line with a handball, and if it hits the t-shirt line, really, it shouldn't be a handball, but no changing this decision, and it will be Renee Guillon to go to 12 yards. Guillon slots it home. Carolina Ascent have the lead, and Renee Guillon, cool as can be, powers it into the net.
Well, and I love the decision by Coach Philip Poole to allow Guillon to take this PK. She was the player who, of course, had that free kick that earned the PK from the beginning. Again, kind of a tough PK, but nonetheless, you call upon her to take the shot from the spot, and Guillon converts. Carolina Ascent with the lead early in this game.
A tough one for Addie Gay in her debut to have to concede from 12 yards within 20 minutes, but Renee Guillon with a composed finish and Carolina Ascent lead. Good fight from DC Power as Lee tried to get on the end of it. It is swiped away. Good to see DC Power respond.
And it's going to be important for DC over the next couple of minutes to really try to find that equalizer. You don't want to force it, right? Let the game come naturally, but we've seen them create so many chances already. Now they have to have that hunger and extra motivation to get that final touch.
Carolina Ascent took the lead twice in their game against Dallas, and both times were pegged back. That will be encouraging for DC Power as we see a free kick called in favor of the home side.
Well, and it's also encouraging for DC as well. When you look at Carolina's unbeaten run to this point, they've had a lot of draws, of course, on that slate. It's not to say that you want to play to a draw, but what it does from a confidence standpoint is it lets you know that this game isn't out of reach. There's an opportunity here to still get a positive result. And again, they've been playing so high press, it almost feels like an opportunity is loading.
To your point, 4 of the last 5 matches for Carolina Ascent have been a tie. Ball in from Diorio, caught in the wind. McClelland will come to take. Cujo. Up to Lee. The passing patterns from DC Power have been clean. Here's another one. Escort. Winding through traffic to Lee. Fredericks, can she keep it in? Not quite the legs.
But still encouraging play on the combination from DC. And I love the decision there to drive into the box. It drives your defenders with you. It takes away that pressure, and it left Fredericks wide open on that backside. Just a quick ball outside. Fredericks didn't have the pace to get there.
Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products. Did she keep it in? Not quite. Renee Guillon tried the innovative touch didn't quite have it.
I was almost rooting for her to keep that in. It was such a smooth touch. It just barely snuck out wide.
You know they're ready to put that one in slow-mo on the social media pages.
It's always good to highlight that little bit of individual skill.
Cujo, such a key player in this side, the Ghanaian women's national team player. I actually found out today that she's also C-license certified as a coach, so a really cool storyline for Jennifer Cujo.
Setting her career up after her soccer career on the pitch.
What an example that would be as a kid. You'd love to have a coach that had played pro. Ball goes out of play, far side. And for DC Power, a huge 10 minutes to try and make sure that you stay compact defensively, but also aggress when you can.
It's hard, right? You give up a PK that was, I'll call it a soft PK for lack of better term. You've been dominating this game from an offensive standpoint as well. A lot of great chances generated. But again, it's all about the mental aspect of where DC is at right now. This game's not out of reach just yet. Stay locked into the game plan, continue to utilize those wide channels, and something will open up.
DC Power, of course, with the least efficient offense in the USL Super League currently, 6 goals only. Did have a solid defense though, have only conceded 12 with this one. Here they are on the offense as Bochum will chase. Swiped away. Guion hustling and bustling, and Guion is called for the foul. It was Fredericks that was hacked down to the ground.
Another dangerous set piece opportunity for DC loading. So the two just get a little tangled up. Guion loses her balance a little bit, and on the way down, takes a DC shirt with her.
Susanna Fredericks on this right-hand side, key to DC Power's attacking play so far, as Philip Hall not happy with the decision. These things tend to even themselves out.
We always want the call that we don't get, or don't want the call that we do get. It's all parts of the ebbs and flows of the game.
Who'd be a referee? Diorio.
Interesting.
Swings it in, takes a couple of hops, it's swiped away, not fully. Bruce heads through, it's popped up from Escort. McClellan catches under her bar.
Interesting take there on the free kick. It kind of threw me off a little bit there too. I couldn't decide when they were going to take the kick. I don't know if it was as successful maybe as they wanted it to be, but I applaud the creativity there.
So both Duong and the eventual taker Diorio kind of battling out whether it was an offside trap. You don't see it every day.
Definitely not.
Porter to Bruce. Bruce and McClellan have both played every minute of every game along with Porter. So 3 of the back line for Ascent have had the ultimate chemistry and opportunity to glue together defensively.
You mentioned Vicky Bruce, of course, her name etched into the history book as the first ever goal scorer for Carolina Ascent. And how ironic is it that the defender is the one that gets the first goal, but that's kind of the nature of both of these teams. They like their outside backs to get in on the attack.
Defenders have really been the stars of USL Super League so far. I've seen many a podcast discussing how often it is the defenders right now marveling at set pieces. As a former goalkeeper, I quite enjoy the fact defenders are getting the respect they deserve.
It's about time, right? Defenders, goalkeepers, everyone getting their flowers. I think what you're starting to see as women's soccer continues to develop both in the United States and across the world, you have to be a much more dynamic player now. Gone are the days where you can just stand at the top of the box and wait for a ball to come to you. You have to get yourself involved in the attack. You have to be involved in the defense, and everyone on the pitch is kind of asked to do everything.
Versatility is the key, and we highlighted it in the open with Madison Wolfbauer. You mentioned a storied career as an attacker, now a starting defender week in, week out.
And for her specifically, it just gives her a little bit of an advantage, right? She has that defensive mindset. She knows she needs to stay home, and defense is her first priority. But if she gets a chance to go forward, she clearly has that itch for goal. She's going to take advantage of it.
Jennifer Cujo is back up to her feet and ready to continue after that stoppage. Bruce volleyed it forwards. Here's Cujo. On the far side is Bagley. Bagley winding into the box. And she's caught, and it's a penalty! Magic run by Bagley that lured the contact from Josie Studer, and DC Power will have an opportunity to equalize.
Studer just got caught out wide. It's good individual dribbling there. And yeah, it's a push. Almost looks like it was outside of the box, but maybe because she landed outside of the box, but there is a push, there is contact, and if the PK on the other side is a penalty, then this is also a penalty for DC. Interesting, it is not Wolfbauer taking it, though. I halfway expected her to be the one at the spot.
But almost serendipitous that it is Mariah Lee to go to the spot. Mariah Lee. And she hits the crossbar. Ball still alive as it's volleyed in and out of play, and Mariah Lee could not equalize for DC Power.
Well, let's take a look back at this entire sequence here. It's Studer driving in, or excuse me, it's Studer on the foul there. And just not a clinical finish from Lee. It was all power and no finesse. Would have been a key goal for DC in this one, especially given all the opportunities they have. Just not clinical from Mariah Lee.
And if that is not the storyline of DC Power this year, just 6 goals for, how do they respond to the adversity of yet again missing an opportunity? Mariah Lee will be heartbroken. There is a chance, though, from the set piece. It's swung in and headed away at that front post area. Bagley back inside the box. Good defending by Mia Corbin.
And for DC Power, it's really been a focus on getting better in front of the goal. We've seen it in this game, especially where they've created so many chances. They are right there. They've done all of the hard work, and it's that last finishing final touch that has really let them down. Fred Brian has talked about that is something he wants this team to improve on, and the good thing about the Super League is that there's still plenty of season left to go.
Bedoya sending the ball forward. Quick off the line is Gay.
Just a little heavy on the touch from Bedoya. She has the vision. It's a perfect passing lane, but the final pass just a little weighted.
Press is heating up for Carolina Ascent. Bedoya tried the reverse pass. Looping onto the end of it, though, still fighting our Ascent. Little give and go by Guion. It's cleared away. Porter. Long ball forward, looking to break through Lee. Escort to Bockham. And Bockham's able to send it into the back of Aguilera and out for a throw.
Bockham working back pretty deep from that high center forward position. I like the persistence and to keep the ball in play there.
It's so tough when you're leading forward, has to drop in so deep and not provide the outlet.
And that's the challenge with Carolina, is that they are so quick in transition. It's like their numbers, when they go on the attack, everybody is already shifting up the field, even on the other side of the field, on that right side. As Carolina obtained possession, you automatically saw Jada Bedoya, Ashlyn Sarepka stretch the field and get up. They are always looking to get on the front foot and catch their opponents off guard.
McClelland, who won't be credited for a save, but did guess the correct direction of the penalty. Bruce sends it forwards. Guion heads it up. And Sarepka is fouled.
DC had 130 fouls coming into this game. Of course, that is no surprise. It leads the Super League in fouls, but we talked about it. They are a very physical team, as we see Duong just go in a little bit tough on a challenge for the referee's liking.
Physical side, DC Power, part of their identity. As Aguilera sends it forwards, it's headed clear by Wolfbauer. Cujo getting on to the loose ball is Studer. Out for an Ascent corner kick.
Referee's gonna get a check there on Amber Diorio. She kind of pulled up there as the play was building. Almost looked like she was limping. I'm not sure what happened, but she did get a little bit of a check from the referee there, something to keep our eye on as this corner kick develops.
A player that DC Power will not want to lose. Such an important, experienced defensive player that also gets involved on the attack. Guion, scorer of the penalty that has us in this 1-0 leader for Ascent, will take the corner. It's swung in and headed away. Important header by Fredericks. Second bite at the apple. Gay comes up. Great goalkeeping from Addie Gay.
And that's a confident save there from Addie Gay. That's the experience talking. No trouble coming in to secure this one with both of her hands, even with a man in her face. Ashlyn Sarepka providing some pressure. Able to hold on to that one. That one had to feel good.
Offside flag is raised, far side. We'll reset with a DC Power free kick. So we hit 35 minutes into the game. DC Power 0.77 expected goals. A huge portion of that, of course, the penalty kick. But no goals for the home side as of yet. Bochum. Good little move, but wasn't able to get on the end of it. McClellan says, get it out of here. Cujo threads the needle. Beautiful pass. Bagley! Blocked on the back of Bruce.
Well, it was a brilliant ball fed in there to Anna Bagley. Just too many touches. When you're right in front of net like that, right on top of the 18, you've got to get that setup touch out and just get some kind of a shot off. Trying to dribble there at the top of the key just isn't going to get it done against Carolina's defense.
What a block to put your body on the line from that distance. Carolina Ascent have a free kick. High pressure from DC Power. McClellan comes out fast. Had to be quick to get there ahead of Jorian Bochum, and the goalkeeper does well.
I just give so many props to goalkeepers. You have to be so brave, so brave. An attacker coming at you full speed, smothering the ball.
Driven cross! So close to a second. It was Riley Baisden arriving onto the delivery from Bedoya.
Bedoya has been all over this match for Carolina. Look at the weight on this pass. Baisden tries to get some touch on it. She's rewarded with a corner kick, but that's the style of soccer that Carolina likes to play. Play it out to that wide player. A heavy weighted ball, not so much float on there. It leaves no doubt on that final touch when you're redirecting it to the net.
Riley Baisden will swing this one in. It's delivered, and a two-handed punch away from Gay. For a 5'8" goalkeeper, Addie Gay does exceptionally well in the air. Now Bochum looking to counter. Bochum round one, and it's well defended. Lee pouncing. Finds Duong. Duong chips it up to Bockham. And the offside flag is raised.
Oh, what that goal would have meant to Bockham. Just a little offside. Should have held her run for just a tiny second, but this little individual bit of skill, she gets the nutmeg. Jennifer Cujo really comes in. Mariah Lee, rather, and then the perfectly weighted pass. Again, just the timing off. But signs of life from a DC team that should be equalized in this one. They missed from the penalty spot. They have not lost their front foot here. They still have a nose for the attack in this game.
Bagley, one-time cross. Bockham can't connect. They'll keep it in this side. It's Escort. Just how close can DC Power get without the equalizer?
And Carolina's going to have to be careful in situations like this. If you remember in that last game against Dallas, it was in stoppage time of the first half where they gave up the equalizer.
Got to play the full match. Every second matters as Fredericks go into ground, and it will be a free kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including live matches from the USL Super League. Visit uslsuperleague.com/SiriusXM to view the schedule. And a set piece for DC Power. A golden opportunity for a service to come in from Amber Diorio.
Amber Diorio, the player that was, I'm going to use the word banged up on the other side, but she's so important in this DC attack. Again, we've talked about the defenders getting in on the attack. We've seen several players from those defensive positions scoring goals this season. And this is a prime location for DC as well. It's almost a scooted in corner kick.
Diorio, the Puerto Rican national team player. Diorio over everybody, and just underwhelming for DC Power in that moment.
Not the finish that you wanted from Diorio. You almost wish that was a corner kick with the pace and power she put on that ball in.
Philip Poole, the tactician, trying to make sure, to your point, Haley, that he inserts their effort for the remaining moments of this game. Cannot take their eyes or foot off the gas for the stoppage time period. Bruce directing traffic to Aguilera. A little give and go, beautifully done. Guion lays it forward. Subheka dispossessed. They'll be given as an Ascent corner. Riley Baisden with a hand gesture that might mean something, Haley.
Yeah, I'm quiet as I'm trying to interpret what the hands up sign could potentially mean. Maybe giving some direction to her teammates in the box.
It is Baisden now. Baisden puts it in, and Eddie Gay. She is a corner kick wizard in goal.
Coach Wine is going to be very pleased with her stepping in net. And listen, the penalty kick is the only mark here as we approach the final few minutes here of the first half. But I thought Gay has really settled into this match. It was a little shaky early on as she reestablished what it meant. A great move there on the outside from Bockham.
Lays it forward to Bagley. Bagley, who drew the penalty that was missed by DC Power. Duong. And Fredericks jumps the gun, she's offside.
DC has really struggled with the timing of their runs. That final pass has been there, but just the chemistry, that connection, the timing of that run just hasn't quite been there.
And you like to give teams the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, so early on into the year, a brand new league, a team with players that didn't know each other very much before coming in. But you need to find it clicking soon before you drop further down the table.
Well, and one of the interesting things as well about the Super League is think about the range that is on this field. We've got teenagers, we've got women in their 30s who have played for 20 plus years. There's so much variety, so many different styles of play that the Super League is really having to marry together in the early portions of this fall schedule. And I think as the season goes on, you've seen it, teams are starting to find out which pieces work together.
Physical tackle came in. DC Power called for another foul. Frederick's the guilty party. Carolina Ascent will see a set piece. You mentioned young players, and Stella Spitzer on the bench for Carolina Ascent today, the youngest player in Super League history to feature. So we see the foul one more time. Guillon will oblige with the free kick to follow.
Guillon's been very busy on this side with her set pieces. She's been perfect so far in service.
Guillon loops it forwards through everybody.
A good opportunity for Carolina. They had the bodies crashing. The ball was weighted perfectly. Again, another perfect floater. Just couldn't find that final touch.
In the waning moments of this first half of action from Audi Field, penalties have been the main narrative of the game, and one scored for Carolina, one missed for DC Power has us here. It's a square pass to Escort. 1 minute of stoppage time. Is there enough for another chance to be created as McClelland will receive the ball?
McClelland gonna take some time here again with the 1-goal advantage. Carolina has a little bit more freedom. Can take their time in this final minute.
Claire Constant with a jersey pull that will see her receive a caution. Unnecessary from an experienced player to receive a yellow in such the last moments of the half.
For those at home who are keeping up, DC now up to 25 yellow cards on the season, and Constant just, you can't do that. A little jersey tug, going in with the shoulder through the back. As a veteran player, that's just a mistake you can't make. The captain's band as well.
National team experience with Haiti. Claire Constant, the 25-year-old, receives a yellow. Ascent will have a delivery to launch in here. It is Guillon, and it's over everybody. That will be it for the first half from Audi Field. Penalties, the star of the show. A 20th minute penalty converted by Renee Guillon. Just 8 minutes later, a missed penalty by Mariah Lee. Your thoughts on the first half, Haley Sutton?
I thought Carolina looked really great. I thought they came out and executed their game plan. They created a lot of chances on the outside portions of the pitch. They really tested Addie Gay, the new goalkeeper, in the mix, and they were rewarded with a penalty from the spot. On the other side for DC Power, not a lot to hang your head on. I wish they were able to get that equalizer from the penalty spot, but we've seen moments of brilliance for them. Again, the key for DC Power going forward, can they get that final touch? All of the hard work is being done. Can they get the finesse at the end?
And we are now joined by goal scorer Renee Guillon. Renee, congratulations. What was going through your mind as you settled yourself ready to take that penalty?
Just be calm and put it in the corner. That's all you can do on those PKs.
And Renee, defensively, DC Power sort of throwing the kitchen sink at you at the end of that first half. What adjustments do you need to make in order to control the attack from DC?
I just think if we just honestly keep the ball more instead of focusing on our defense. If we keep the ball and pass it around them, we'll be able to finish out this game with a win.
Well, Renee, thank you so much for your time. Good luck in the second half of action.
Thank you.
That was Renee Guion. Her 20th minute penalty goal has us here at halftime with a 1-0 lead for Carolina Ascent versus DC Power. More to come at the halftime break. You're watching USL Super League on Peacock.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Welcome back to USL Super League action on Peacock. As things stand, Carolina Ascent look to remain unbeaten on what has been an incredible campaign. They have the 1-0 lead. But let's take a look around this astonishing league and the dream debut from Ali Flanagan, but unfortunately not available for selection today.
Oh, I was so looking forward to getting to see her play after her tremendous performance in that debut. She looked like a seasoned vet out there, the confidence as well. A really positive signing for DC going forward.
For Brooklyn FC, they continue some strong momentum. They're a team to watch, currently sat at the top of the table. And Carolina Ascent, we see them right now. They continue to be the only undefeated team in the league.
Listen, bragging rights when you have that one and only title, that carries a lot of weight. We'll have to see if they can withstand DC's adjustments in the second half to stay unbeaten.
A lot of soccer still to come, but let's take a peek back at all the action of Week 12. And it started on Halloween, but there was nothing spooky about Luana Gravias' quality finish.
Just a lot of individual skill there at the top of the box. A little pass off there from Kroger. She puts her head down, puts her boot through it, and it's a 1-0 nil goal there.
A lot of work for Spokane Zephyr, but here's Dallas versus Fort Lauderdale. We have history in the making because Celie Strawn becomes the youngest player to score a goal in Super League history.
And look what it means to her. This is why you never give up on the play. The goalkeeper making the initial save, but Strawn, the heads-up play to be there.
1-0 scorelines in both of those, but it was chaos in Tampa. Tampa taking on Lexington.
This game was bananas. Cecile Flo Nielsen will get the flowers for the brace as she gets that first goal there. A little bit of persistence. Lexington stayed in this one, though. We saw Maddie Parsons get the assist, Sydney Shepard on the finish. Mike Dickey loves her in attacking positions, but really Tampa Bay had all the opportunities, and when they were asked to score goals, they stepped up to the plate, particularly on this one. Natasha Falent with just a little bit of individual skill and flair on the finish. Tampa Bay wins it 3-1.
And that victory takes Tampa to 4th in the USL Super League standings. Still a lot more to come, but halftime here at Audi Field. It's Carolina Ascent 1, DC Power 0. We're back at Audi Field with fans that are wishing for a DC Power FC goal. Hasn't been able to occur yet, but as things stand, Carolina Ascent with the 1-0 lead. Jessica Chapman, Hayley Sutton, plenty of drama in the first half of action, and it all started with Renee Guillon's service.
Yeah, we don't normally get multiple penalty kicks in a game, but that's what we saw in this first quarter, or first half rather. Sydney Guillon with a dangerous ball in and then converts from the spot. She told us at halftime she was just focused on being cool, calm, and putting that ball into the back corner, as she's able to capitalize.
Just 8 minutes later, an opportunity for DC Power. It was Anna Bagley with some great footwork to draw a penalty for her side.
And just like you said it, drawing the penalty, gets a little bit of contact there from Sydney Studer, and then she does what she needs to do. Unfortunately for Mariah Lee, the penalty taken was not clinical, just doinks right off of that crossbar. McClellan did guess correctly, but unfortunately, still scoreless for DC.
Those moments have us here in a 1-0 lead for unbeaten Carolina Ascent. Will they continue the incredible form? We'll find out. Second half action coming up next. We're back at Audi Field in what has been a spectacular first half between Carolina Ascent and DC Power. It is the Ascent with the 1-0 lead, but DC Power looking to fight back, and they will do so, making their first adjustment of the match. They bring in Loza Abera to have an impact on the attacking side of the field. Jessica Charman, Haley Sutton, we're underway. 45 minutes left to play. Can the Trailblazers keep on climbing? Will Carolina Ascent remain unbeaten? Early touches for Loza Abera, as she's able to knock it across to Cujo. Getting caught up on all the subs and more, but now Bedoya driving forward, big tackle out of the back. Was Diorio fresh off that halftime break with a brilliant defensive tackle.
DC Power picking up right where they left off for that first half, trying to be aggressive.
Bedoya Threaded pass as it's driven back by Baisden. Over everybody. And Aguilera won't be able to keep that one in. It was the penalty misser, Mariah Lee, that is sacrificed in place of Loza Ribera. A tough afternoon for Mariah Lee today.
And I think that's what makes professional soccer so different, right? In a game that you need a result, unfortunately, you've got to bring in the players who are going to give you the best shot.
Bedoya sees it stabbed away. Out for a deep, deep attack and throw.
And again, to hammer home the point, we've been talking this entire game, they've only scored 6 goals in Super League play this season. It would have been 7 with that penalty. And not to harp on Mariah Lee, she played a really great first half. It's just about bringing in some fresh perspective to try and spark the offense for DC.
It's the hardest part as we get a look at Philip Poole, who will be satisfied, but definitely not content with the 1-0 margin. He talked to us all week long saying, we have to be ruthless, we have to put games to bed, and in a 1-0 scoreline, anything can happen. Renee Guillon. Guillon. Deep cross to the back post. It's headed off of a Carolina Ascent head and out of play. Closest to it was Studer. Josie Studer to Sydney Studer and all the way to Megan McClelland in goal. McClelland would love to see her add another clean sheet to her tally, already leading the league with 4, but 5 sounds a lot nicer.
Yes, 1 more is always best, but for Carolina at this point of the season, at this point of the game, I should say, they have that 1-0 cushion. And it's an interesting cushion because you do have the lead, but it's only the 1 goal. And as obvious as it sounds, it almost forces you to continue playing at that high pace, that high level, because you don't want to be content with a 1-goal lead. 1 goal and DC is back in this game. So defensively, we've talked a lot about Carolina's offense, but defensively, they're going to have to remain disciplined as well, too.
Both sides of the ball, Philip Poole's emphasis being good attacking, but also cleaning things up defensively after conceding 2 against Dallas Trinity last time out.
It's been a quiet day for Mia Corbin as you see her floating all the way back there, just trying to get involved in some way, shape, or form. I talked about how much she likes to have the ball at her feet. She likes to get involved in on the attack, and now all the way in the defensive third, something to keep our eye on as Carolina mounts an attack here.
Great work by Porter, keeping possession. So started through the back line to Sydney Studer. There is Corbin, deeper than we're used to seeing her. She directs traffic.
It almost seems like she's dropped into more of an attacking midfield role. Maybe Coach Poole looking to utilize her creativity on the ball to create some chances for other players. This is a Carolina team that has options when it comes to scoring goals.
And again, it goes back to a comment you made earlier on in the match about versatility in this day and age and how good you have to be as Bagley. What a sombrero that was, and then sends it forward. Loza Ribera cuts. And Ribera drives the cross, and it's cleared away by Bruce. Bagley, though, wow.
That was brilliant from Bagley, just a heads up.
And there she is again, sending the ball forwards. It's kept in and driven back. Better from DC as Constant to escort. Bockham controls, and she loses her fitting last minute.
Just unfortunate day for Bockham. She's been so unlucky with those finishing opportunities, just loses her footing there. But encouraging play from DC Power as you see them settling into the match. 11 minutes have gone by and they've really brought the attack early, trying to establish that equalizing goal.
It doesn't look like an offense that has only scored 6 goals with the confidence they're creating in the attacking third in this moment, but they've got to turn the final third entries into actual chances.
And at this point of the season, when there's 3, 4, 5 games even left for some of these teams, this is that point where that stuff has to start clicking. We talked about this still being a relatively new league, all of the players meshing together, but at some point the game plan has to start coming to fruition, and you have to start looking at the roster, looking at the depth. Who can I put in this game that's going to get us that 7th goal, that's going to spark us being a goal-scoring team?
As we take a look at the statistics, Carolina Ascent has dominated possession, but it's DC Power that has led the lane in shots. Again, the red flag, 5 shots, just 1 of them on target.
And it's just been that finish. DC has strung together several really good chances, pinging the ball across the field, switching the point of attack, that final cross, threatening at the back post. There just hasn't been any bodies there to finish it, or when they do, it's gone wide.
High press from Ascent forces a throw in for them as it's controlled down by Bedoya. Bedoya shaded by 3. As it's toe poked away, good defensive effort from Jennifer Cujo. Studer is onside. Cross is driven into Amber Diorio, and brave defending again from Diorio.
She's just put her body on the line today, hasn't she? And it's no surprise when you look at just her career as a whole. She's coming off of a game against Lexington where she was named the defensive player of the match. Lots of composure, not afraid to be physical, as we've seen as this second half has now ticked along.
Renee Guillon has a goal from the penalty spot. Would love to add an assist here. It's a deep corner from Guillon, edge of the 6, headed off of who else but Amber Diorio. And then she draws the foul. Amber Diorio, such a stern and solid player in the back line. Sydney Struder was deemed as the guilty party. Claire Constant just having to tie her laces. As Gay sends it forward. It's been a good debut for Gay in terms of her first start. Played 45 minutes last time out for DC Power against Lexington. Obviously not much she could have done about the penalty, but been impressed with the way she dominates in and around her 18.
Yeah, she's made some really great decisions that I think the coaching staff will be happy with. In the opening minutes, she kind of hesitated to come out and get passes, but she's been so strong up to this point.
Ball served in deep, and Gay had it covered, didn't get a touch. It will be a goal kick, but an audacious cross in from Renee Guillon.
And just talking about the decision making there. Gay watching that ball come across. It was a floated ball, not as much power, but still Carolina has a tendency to bring 2, 3, 4 players crashing in. So the heads up just to watch that go out of bounds too, earning a goal kick. And an interesting little bit of play there from the DC defense.
As a former goalkeeper, I think if my defender backheeled me the ball, I might be saying some untelevision friendly words.
Probably not the place you want to see creativity from.
We did see a Maradona turn on the edge of the 18 by a defender last night, so they're getting riskier, these defenders, aren't they?
But it just shows the confidence that players are developing going forward. And I mentioned it earlier when it comes to the versatility that you just talked about. Defenders are saying, I like scoring goals too. I like being a part of the offense too. And so showing off their little bit of skill in the moments that they can. It's been fun to watch.
Call it the modern day goalkeeper when we start seeing those sorts of moves out of the keeper. As we still have plenty of game left to be played. DC Power being encouraged by the fact it is just the one goal that they are chasing. Aguilera, chopped down, free kick called against Charlie Escort. Charlie Escort, a vital reinsertion to the lineup. Missed a couple of games while on national team duty with Wales. Constance clearance is blocked away. Be a deep defensive throw-in for DC Power, and watch out Carolina Ascent try to push here.
And DC Power, that back line has just been really complacent over the last couple of minutes.
Quite surprised to see Renee Guillon taken out of the game, but right now has the game-leading goal. She'll be replaced by Giovanna DiMarco. Big boots to fill for DiMarco, replacing Renee Guillon, who has been spectacular in the first 57 minutes of play.
Well, she was all over the pitch in this one, and you really got to see her shine on set pieces as she had a couple of really dangerous ones in there.
Abera has been involved in more areas, certainly brings the physicality to the table. Bochum recovers far side. Ascent will breathe with the ball. Mention the insertion of DiMarco. Does have experience in the US Youth national team pools. 25 years old now, so experience in terms of big game moments.
As someone who just turned 30, it feels wild to say 25 experience.
Abera takes a strike, pulls it wide. But Loza Abera has been heating up since arriving as a half-time substitute.
And it's so hard as a sub to really come in and establish your game in a low-scoring affair. She saw that McClellan was just a little off the line, decided to test it. Not quite the power Abera wanted on it.
Escort. With the deep cross over everybody. Bagley will try and keep this in. Doesn't have the legs, but Carolina Ascent feel like they're playing with fire building out the back right now.
And for DC, it's just that final pass. I continue to say it, but even on the crosses, you're not seeing that same amount of creativity and runs dashing into the box that we saw in that first half.
Acting coach today is Annetta Wine, standing in for an unavailable Fred Briand. Will be encouraged, though, with the way that her side has performed, but they'll have to defend here. There was a foul behind the ball, but the referee deemed play on. DC Power will look to capitalize. Duong picks up ahead, drives in the big switch towards Bagley. Bagley. Cujo! Out for a goal kick.
Cujo a little bit ambitious on that final shot, but what a ball from Caitlin Duong all the way out of that outside back position on the right side. She's had 53 crosses coming into this game. She's not afraid to play that dangerous ball inside, as you saw it there. Unfortunately for Anna Bagley, just wasn't able to get that first setup touch. She ended up chasing, kept the play alive.
Cujo across to Escort. Escort threads it to Abera. She chips it It misses, but the offside flag was raised anyway.
You think Ibarra wants to score in this game? I mean, my goodness, she steps onto the pitch and becomes an immediate impact for the DC offense. It was close. It was a very close call. We'll get another look at it here. Looked like she timed it just right, but that side official saying that she went a little early. But the word we keep using for DC, encouraging. They keep having these small moments where you think the equalizer is on the horizon.
DC Power with 7 shots now, but still the one on target. Ibarra again! Oh! How close can Loza Ibarra get?
Just missed it wide. She did all of the right steps and couldn't get that final finish. And for McClellan, she was stuck on her heels. If that was on target, that's a goal. And now for Ibarra, the key here is to settle in. Don't let those 2 misses affect her continuance on the attack.
Loza Ibarra comes with so much pedigree. An Ethiopian superstar has scored 39 goals for her country, so no doubt that one of these must go for a player of her caliber. Studer, dispossessed by Cujo. Cushioned down by Ibarra. She is linking up as she sends it forward to Bochum. Bochum, shoulder charge every day of the week.
Yeah, I think we all knew the whistle was going to be called on that. Bochum with a little smirk on her face. But I love this pass, trying to spark the attack, just went a little too hard with the shoulder there. That was always going to be a foul on Bochum.
But what it does do is she gives Vicky Bruce an apologetic hug. Lovely to see that sort of relationship. It makes Vicky Bruce think twice about getting into a foot race with Jorian Bochum. Every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the Sirius XM app.
They do such a tremendous job of recapping all of the action.
I love the interviews as well, getting to know the different players, finding out fun facts, and just an exciting part of USL and all the coverage that the Super League is getting. Year 1, can't imagine where this league is going to grow as Wolfbauer and Gay in a miscommunication. First real look at the fact that Gay hasn't played but 45 minutes with Wolfbauer. Ibarra towards Escort. Charlie Escort driving forward, blocked away by Studer. Great defending out the back by Sydney Studer.
Sydney Studer standing strong there at that center back position. Smart on her as well to utilize her body, but not in an overly physical way. Reminder, Studer is on a yellow card. So something, as she is trying to hold off the relentless DC attack that we've seen over the last 15 minutes or so, she has to be careful.
2 yellow cards in this game. Sydney Studer for Carolina Ascent and Claire Constant for DC Power. 2 key defenders in the referee's book. Corbin sends this one forward. Wolfbauer will handle and drive it up the line. Took a deflection. Bagley will throw it in. Ibarra. Bagley deflects it again. DC Power getting some touches now.
And I mentioned this note in the first half. DC Power, when their game is flowing, it's typically when they're connecting on those quick, tight passes. You've kind of seen Ibarra and Bagley have that sort of connection on this left side of the field, but really when they get into a rhythm, when they can get those passes, work it through the middle, and then send it to those outside channels, that's where we've seen the success for DC Power today.
Changes getting ready to come in now. Eliana Beard will come in for Carolina Ascent. Beard will replace Jada Bedoya, who was kept mostly quiet today by DC Power's back line.
Bedoya just couldn't find those connections that we've grown used to seeing out of her over the last couple of games. She did create some very dangerous chances on the back post. You always had to be aware of her on the field.
Katrina Guillou also enters the field of play for DC Power. Fresh legs for both sides. We'll see how that ups the tempo of the match. Corbin. Wolfbauer. Pressured high. DeMarco. And a foul from behind by the newcomer, DeMarco. Chip ball forwards. Bagley has switched over to the right-hand side after Charlie Escort was subbed out. Riley Cross also enters the field of play for DC Power. Threaded ball forwards. Be defended by Fredericks. Great work by Fredericks to see that one out for the goal kick.
Just a heads-up play there by the veteran defender to hold off the attack there in the corner flag, as it looks like she is working her way across the field.
Real concern as Addie Gay is down on the ground. The goalkeeper that this was her moment, this was her opportunity, and now she is down on the ground in her first start in goal.
And to your point, this is not what you want to see for DC Power. It's a 1-0 game in the dying, I shouldn't say dying moments, but we're closing in on that end of the game scenarios where things start to feel a little bit more intense because you feel like the time is winding down. And you mentioned it, she was just starting to get into her form. We saw her come out and make some confident saves, directing that back line, being a vocal presence in net. It's certainly going to be a talking point.
The backup goalkeeper would be Elizabeth Thornton, an academy product, plays with ECNL, is a Wake Soccer 2029 commit.
And it just adds to the adversity of the Super League. We talked about the differences in ages and skill levels within this league, and that's a pretty good example of it. You've got a backup goalkeeper playing right now who really hasn't seen consistent minutes over the last year. The backup to the backup is an ECNL 2029 college commit. And all of those situations, you still have to find a way to be successful. So it's good to see Gay up on her feet. Still plenty of time for her side to get back into this match.
Gay will have an opportunity to send the ball forwards now. Interesting to see how she opts to do this one after everything that has just taken place. Gay seems okay with that clearance, but it's put straight back where it came from. So physical challenge on the edge of the box is swiped clear by Constant. DeMarco dispossessed. And now the ball forwards. Quick off of her line, Megan McClelland. Tough ask for McClelland after not doing too much, as we get another peek at what took place here.
And of course, it's Loza Abera. Again, in on the attack, trying to put some pressure on Megan McClelland. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. We haven't really seen McClelland have to make any real big saves in this game up to this point.
Abera, turning and burning. Long searching cross, looking for Bockham. McClelland sharp off of her line. Right as you say, she's not been busy.
Yeah, she said, take that, Haley. I can make a save even when you ask me to.
A confident goalkeeper that has really thrived with the opportunity to get regular starting minutes. Another testament to what USL Super League brings to quality players that maybe weren't getting opportunities in this country to now become a starting number one. Corbin pushing higher up the field than we've seen as Wolfbauer to Diorio. The hustle from Abera since coming off the pitch, though, has been so impressive, but Diorio's caught. Here's the keep away that goal scorer Rennie Guillon said was so important for her side in this second half, but this time they do give it away. Constant. Long ball forward, Bockham has the legs. Jorian Bockham. What a recovery run from Jill Aguilera. A half-field sprint recovery from Jill Aguilera to thwart the run forward of Jorian Bockham.
She's just stretching herself out at that point after what was an exhausting recovery. You laid it out so perfectly there, Jess. I wish Bockham would have taken this touch inside, maybe utilized just a little bit more of her pace there. She had so much green grass in front of her, but look at the closing speed from Aguilera. Able to just come in, disrupt, apply a little bit of pressure, not too much, not to concede a foul, and then goes down there at the end. I think Bockham was called for a foul, a little frustrated there. It was minimal contact between the two, but great closing run from Aguilera.
Through ball, charging forward now. As a shot goes wide. The strike came in from Riley Basin, and Philip Paul says that one should have been two.
Should have been two, and it should have been Ashlyn Sarepka's first goal of the game. I love going for goal on this, but man, Sarepka was trailing. She was wide open at that back post. She had the pace. It would have just taken a little touch, and it would have been 2-0.
Such a tough one, though, in that moment when the goal is glistening, to pick your head up and find the pass. If she scores, no one questions, but Sarepka certainly let her know what she thought of the lack of pass. As we see some tension. Referee today, Alison Nichols, quick on the mark to extinguish any tension. So long ball forwards, and the flag is raised against Katrina Guillou.
DC Power has really struggled with their timing, as you see another offside flag go up there for the newcomer Guillon on the field, but they just haven't been able to establish that chemistry with those deep, long balls. And it's a good and a bad thing, right? You always want what you're trying to do to come to fruition quicker rather than slower, but for DC Power, there's a lot of room for improvement, and they're not afraid to try some of those creative, deep balls into the attacking third, that transition soccer that they'd like to play.
There have been 5 key moments where DC Power have been caught offside in this game. You could phrase it as Carolina Ascent being disciplined defensively, but DC Power needs better connectivity with the delivery and the run. So long ball is sent forwards. Sarepka was dispossessed. Another good move though, as a strike is saved down to her right, tidily by Addie Gay.
Poor giveaway by the DC defense. Very similar to what we're seeing right now. Carolina just relentless on their attack.
The referee calls it back for a foul. Riley Cross deemed to have been fouled in that play. The inaugural USL Super League season has officially begun. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into all things Super League. Fredericks has been quiet on the attack in third, looking to get some touches. Duong back to Wolfbauer, who chips it forwards. Bagley will stay on side in a foot race with Aguilera. Aguilera, so well done.
How good has she been over the last 5 minutes or so? Just showing off that defensive soccer IQ. Defenders always get put in difficult spots because they want to be able to do their job, but a lot of times they're dinged for physicality. And you saw right there as she was able to use her body, earn a goal kick for her team.
Meg McClellan gets the final warning from the referee for time wasting, as she may or may not have deliberately switched where she placed the ball. Abera to Bochum. Bochum sees it swung into her, and a painful one for Jorian Bochum. We'll hope that she's okay.
Yeah, that went right into her chin, into her face. Just an unfortunate touch. It was a great ball played in. Bochum was on the move as she takes it off her thigh, and then it just goes right up. Yeah, straight off the foot of Vicky Bruce there.
Don't need to see that one more time. She is laughing. Jorian Bochum, tough as nails. And it will give an impromptu coming together for the coaching staff. So Zanetta Wine has an opportunity with the rest of the assistant coaches to regroup this team together for one last push. 12 minutes on the clock, but expect hefty stoppage time. Haley, what do you think's going through their minds right now?
Well, they got to find a goal. And I know it sounds so straightforward, but the moments just haven't quite been there in terms of the execution for DC Power. You see it here, the coaching staff just trying to go through the game plan as we see Bochum stand up after that foul. She looks to be okay, but Bochum, their top target as they're trying to get their offense going. We've seen her have a couple of moments where she's been one-on-one in goal and hasn't been very successful. They just have to find that final piece, that final touch.
It's good to see the smiles and the laughs from Jorian Bochum, and her face looks none the worse to wear, so I'm sure she'll be relieved to look in the mirror.
Bochum does a fabulous job with her makeup, by the way. From one makeup girly to the other, she slays that face when she's on the field.
It's an important part of the game that doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, Marta's lipstick.
Yeah.
We love a soccer girly.
The long braids.
It's all about expressing yourself, and again, more players with an opportunity to showcase themselves at the highest level of the game. McClelland to Studer. McClelland a little risky, but able to find the pass. Bruce trying to turn under the pressure of Bagley, and Bagley's pressure forces it out. Good execution from DC Power.
And we've seen this a couple of times in this game, and even going back to Carolina's last game against Dallas, where they get a little too comfortable on the back line, passing it across. I think they like that slow moving where they can switch the point of attack. But when DC is bringing so many numbers, pressing up on that back line, you see a lot of mistakes as we've been stuck in this back corner here.
That clearance was sent up to row Z. DC Power. Throw it in to Bochum. Across comes towards Guiu. She won't have the legs to keep it in.
And that's where that final touch is missing. They've been playing these tremendous balls into the box, but that back post has been lacking the runners to get the final touch.
Yuka Kurosaki enters the field along with Malia Martin. Last chance for DC Power as we see Bagley exiting the field in place of Kurosaki. Diorio also sacrificed in that sub. Amber Diorio deserves an honorable mention for her performance in that game.
I'm sure she's going to enjoy the ice bath after this game. It was a very physical match for her, both delivering some intense tackles and taking some herself.
Yuka Kurosaki bringing the energy straight off of the bench. Malia Martin to throw this one in, having just come on as a sub for untargeted Bochum. It's out and taking a few liberties with positioning for the referee. Malia Martin still too far forwards.
Just the eagerness of coming in off the bench and wanting to get involved quickly here. Just got a little excited on the throw-in.
Every yard matters, and she has now earned all those yards back for a higher opportunity. Martin loops it in, it's flicked on. And it ping-pongs around. Good defending by Martin. Martin turning defense into attack. And Yukasaki's cross is, I thought Yuka Kurosaki had drawn her corner. Instead, it is not.
Yeah, it almost sounded like it went off of the Carolina Ascent defender as well, too. I think everyone was a little surprised, but instead it's McClellan with a goal kick.
And we're well aware of how long she might take as she gets a couple of stretches in. Been a busy day. And she clears it long. Good work by Wolfbauer to earn the throw in. Tensions heating up. DC Power well aware of the limits in time that they have to fight back into this game.
And you'll notice with Madison Wolfbauer there in the back, that's the third time she's received the ball and an opportunity to reset it all the way back with her goalkeeper, Addie Gay. But after that miscue we saw between them early in the second half, we haven't seen that same connection. Wolfbauer has elected to push the ball up the field instead of playing it back.
It becomes a bit of a trust issue when you have a moment like that, and Wolfbauer perhaps erring on the side of caution. Also combined with the fact she's seen her goalkeeper down, perhaps doesn't want to take any risks if Gay does have something under the surface. Aguilera. Beard controls. Beard double team defensively, and DC Power earn the free kick. Perhaps some retaliation from the Israeli national team player.
Yeah, Beard just trying to keep possession with the two defenders on her back. You see that hold right there is where they're going to get her for the foul. They were all jawing for it, but ultimately she's the one caught red-handed.
Appeals for a handball from Fredericks are eventually rewarded. Ball comes off of the hand of Jill Aguilera.
DC with another set-piece opportunity. They've threatened on corner kicks as this game has gone on. They've had a couple of really great chances from open field as well. Like to see them get something on target here. Force Megan McClellan to come out and make a save.
Service coming in. It's launched forwards through everybody. Closest to it was Claire Constant at the back post, but didn't have enough real estate to get a touch back in play. Cross. Long swinging in cross. And a strike whiffed away by Kurosaki.
Another substitute eager to make an impact on this game. She wanted to get that touch off quickly.
What a ball from Riley Cross. First time ball in from Guiu. McClelland will easily smother front post.
And DC Power, you can feel that intensity ramping up. You mentioned the clock not being on their side. Just about 4 minutes to go plus stoppage, whatever we are awarded here. And you can feel that urgency with DC, the substitutes trying to do their job and spark an attack. Again, just a 1-goal deficit at this point.
Wolfbauer, long searching ball forwards. And McClelland will walk that one into her box. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super League newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. McClelland punts it forwards. Wolfbauer misjudges it. But then she recovers well. Highlighted her in the open for a reason, and she is a brick wall. Onto the loose ball is Riley Cross. Cross outside the boot pass. Abera's offside. And the offside flag on the far side continues to haunt DC Power.
Well, you used a word earlier, eager. They're so eager to get in on the score sheet that the patience has been lacking, particularly for Laza Abera today, or in this moment here. She's just standing offside. You can even see Vicky Bruce pointing to the side official. That timing just hasn't been right there for DC Power.
I think it's only fair to give Carolina Ascent the credit for their discipline line, as well as Sarepka holds it in the corner. Just trying to trickle out any valuable seconds. Under 2 minutes remaining of regulation. Some hefty stoppage time coming with the Bochum injury. It's Philip Poole having a little chuckle with the fourth official. I think he might have heard a number he didn't love to hear.
And he'll have to be happy with this result. He's talked about enjoying getting a draw, enjoying getting a positive result, but the reality is you need wins in this league to stay on top. We've seen what wins have done for Brooklyn, putting them at the top of the league. Carolina just has to find a way to hold on here for the next few minutes.
Fredericks, who's been pinned back a lot in this second half for DC Power, haven't seen her involved in enough attacks. All eyes in Audi Field on the fourth official. Danielle Chesky has an opportunity to make or break DC Power's hopes. As this one is deflected away, Martin.
Another player hit in the face by an Ascent bouncing ball.
DC Power trying to find a way to get the ball into the attacking third. Wolfbauer to Constant. Constant. Ball is sent straight back where it came from by Carolina Ascent.
Natalie Gay telling her team, push up the field, push up the field. Starting to see a lot of those long desperation balls as DC tries to get runners on the end of them here.
5 minutes, but it's Carolina Ascent on the offense. Wolfbauer keeps it in. Plenty of time left in this game if DC Power can have a moment. Martin. Cushioned down by Duong. Her ball forward to Abera. Did she bend her run this time? Loza Abera. Square to Kurosaki. Straight down the middle, and McClelland thankfully catches.
Not quite the touch Kurosaki wanted on that finish. It's Abera timing her run perfectly this time, and she gets the shot off, but just doesn't get the power.
Abera drags it wide. Loza Abera, head in hands. How costly could that miss be for DC Power?
And when they go back and watch the film from this game as they get set for week 13 after this one wraps, it will just be a tale of missed opportunities. For a goal scorer of Abrea's caliber, that should have gone in. She just hooks it a little too wide. Kudos to McClellan to come out and sort of close that space. It forced Abera to make the choice, but time and time and time again, that final finish has just been lacking for DC Power.
The highlight reel will break Frederick Briant when he sees how many chances have gone away as another flag is raised far side. Jorian Bockham asking who is off. 9 shots for DC Power, 2 on target.
We talked about McClellan and her 4 clean sheets she had coming into this game, looking more and more like it'll be number 5 for her. But really, we have to give credit to this Carolina defense as well, because just as important in those shutouts is the defensive back line. Carolina has played so disciplined today. The highlight, of course, was Aguilera recovering on that long Bockham run. Just so disciplined, and for as much as we give credit to the Carolina attack, the defense has been spot up today.
Almost a giveaway as pressing was Beard, and Gay clears it forwards. Sarepka pounces, and Beard will hold in the corner and draw a foul. Good experience from the Israeli national team player, Beard.
She's just gonna take her time getting up. Final few minutes of stoppage time as we see another substitution come in, but no real pressure for Carolina to speed this process up.
Ashlyn Sarepka will take her time to saunter off the side of the pitch. Referee clearly saying that I will be adding this time on. Entering the field, Catherine Gonzalez.
Catherine Gonzalez going right to the corner flag could potentially be a time-wasting tactic as they try to hold on to the ball there at the corner flag.
The magic spray is out for Alyssa Nichols, making sure that DC Power are 10 yards away from the service. Gonzalez and Beard will try and cling it in the corner. It's straight off the boot of Gonzalez, but she regains possession.
The referee had a great look at that and still awards the throw-in to the Carolina Ascent, much to the dissent to the DC Power fans in attendance.
They say the ball doesn't lie, and that moment feels like it reinstates that fact as it's out for a DC Power throw. It's gotta go. Final moments of this match. Cross. Launches it forward, it's cleared away. Back where it came from, no nonsense stuff from Philip Poole's Carolina Ascent.
DC just ramping up their pressure here in the last minute or so, already over that 5-minute mark, but keeping in mind Ashlyn Sarepka's slow saunter off the field.
Malia Martin to Wolfbauer. One more long ball forward, can she get it off? Wolfbauer is headed straight back where it came from. Wolfbauer, this time it's good. Controlled by Bockham, Abera, saved by McClellan. An absolutely gigantic save from Meg McClellan.
Well, and that was it. Wolfbauer got a second chance to play the perfect ball, and it just goes wide. A good bit of defending and goalkeeping from Carolina Ascent. The goalkeeper is now moving up to provide one extra body. This will likely be the final attempt for DC Power off the corner.
All 11 DC Power players inside the box. Gay was the closest to it. It's volleyed away and headed clear. The final whistle blows. The Trailblazers keep on climbing. Carolina Ascent make it 10 unbeaten, and they reclaim their top of the table position. It wasn't easy. They had to suffer, but Haley Sutton, they have got it done.
Wow. What an ending to what was just a spectacular display of soccer from both of these squads. DC Power with the chance to equalize at the buzzer. They got quite a few looks at it. I can imagine some of these conversations are talking about just what unfolded over that 90 plus, but for Carolina Ascent, you mentioned it, they are still unbeaten. 10 now, that number of them not losing a single game in this inaugural season. It is just impressive to see how they have continued to carry this momentum through the season.
We're about to be joined by head coach Philip Poole. What a night it will be for him, the leader of this Carolina Ascent side that have now made it 10 games unbeaten. Philip Poole is joining us now on USL Super League Peacock. Philip, how are your nerves after that ending?
You know what, it wasn't about that ending. I had flashbacks from Lexington, so I'm glad we dealt with it. It wasn't pretty, but we got it done. So nerves are all right, I just had flashbacks, and we got through it, learned a lesson.
Yeah, Coach, we just spotlighted the 10-game unbeaten streak. There's no other team in the Super League that can say that right now. What stood out to you about getting a win as opposed to a draw in this matchup today?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've talked a lot about understanding that you come to all these places, right? Coming to DC, going to Lexington, going to Tampa, you name it. There's a certain focus and concentration and grittiness that you need to win away. And this is not a USL Super League thing. This is a worldwide football thing. You don't walk into other people's houses and just win because you show up. You have to earn it and you have to grind it. And I think DC were really good in the second half. They stepped up and pushed us. So I'm glad we got through it. It wasn't pretty, but we got through it.
It was a win for the Carolinas, and Philip, we talked about just how amazing this community has been. What's your message to all the fans out there that are watching this game? 3 points for them.
Yeah, 3 points for them, and we can't wait to come home next week. We have Spokane at home, and again, Spokane are another team that are on the ascendancy, playing better and better each week. So we love our fans, can't wait to see them next week, and thanks for what you guys do too.
Thank you, Coach, for your time. Go enjoy the moment. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Wow, take a breath because we have more to delve into, but an incredible victory for Carolina Ascent. It was a deep delve for DC Power, but just didn't have enough at the end. Final score, Carolina Ascent 1, DC Power 0. Welcome back to Audi Field. DC Power FC fans left heartbroken after falling at the hands of the invincible Carolina Ascent FC. 1-0 the final score. But it was full of action. Jessica Jarman, Hayley Sutton. This is how we got started in the 20th minute. A dubious penalty?
Yeah, Renee Guillon with a dangerous ball into the box. It's an unfortunate touch off the shoulder there of the DC Power defender, but she was clinical from the spot, just tucked it into that back corner, all finesse.
It was calm, composed finish from Renee Guillon, but just moments later, DC Power would have their golden opportunity. Anna Bagley would draw a penalty and send them to the spot.
Yeah, Anna Bagley does a great job of just drawing some contact. She goes down in the box to earn the equalizer. Unfortunately for Mariah Lee, just not her day from the penalty spot as it ricochets off the crossbar. It would have been a perfect opportunity to get an equalizer in an important moment.
But DC Power showed heart, they showed discipline, and they created. Abera coming so close to the equalizer.
Yeah, the final couple seconds of this one was a wild attempt for DC Power. They had all the ingredients of the finish. Unfortunately, Megan McClellan was spectacular from the goal.
Megan McClellan earned her 5th shutout of the season. That save remarkable. DC Power FC out shooting Carolina Ascent 12-5, but the shots on target will continue to concern Fred Brion's side.
And it's always good that you have confident players who are taking shots. That's always the first half of getting goals, but there were so many opportunities for DC Power to get themselves back into this game. We talked about it being just a 1-0 deficit. 12 shots and nothing to show for is certainly going to be something to dive into the film this week for DC Power.
Well, it was certainly quite something in the repeat of the inaugural matchup in USL Super League. Carolina Ascent keep on climbing. The invincible team continues 10 games unbeaten, and they now sit top of the league table. For myself, Jessica Charman, Hayley Sutton, and my entire crew, final score, Carolina Ascent 1, DC Power FC 0.